Good morning, everyone. Welcome back into North Dakota today. Are you waiting for home prices or interest rates to drop before purchasing your next home? Blake Fason, forever agent and luxury collection specialist with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Premier Properties, is here to explain the pros and cons of purchasing a home now versus waiting. Welcome, Blake.
Great to be here.
Of course, I'm excited to dive into this topic.
Yeah.
So can you give us your thoughts on if we're going to see a decrease in home prices anytime soon?
Well, initially prices were projected to come down slightly this year, and by slightly I'm talking 0.2 to 0.3%.
Wow.
But prices have actually held pretty steady. Year to date we're up right around 1%. And it's kind of being propped up by these low inventory levels, and they've kind of been holding the prices there. And when we talk about the home market, you know, you're going to see small, you know, little fluctuations here and there, but home prices really don't ever come down. And if they do, they don't stay there for long. Since 2001 in the Fargo-Moorhead area, there's only been 2 years where prices have actually decreased. One of those, which is 2008, big surprise there, and then 2011. And in both of those years, the reduction in price was less than 2% each time. So.
Wow. Well, you mentioned low inventory when you were answering that question. Could you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Absolutely. I mean, inventory levels have been a concern for the last few years now. New home listings are down 18% from last year alone. And there's a few factors here. Since 2008, home builders have just not kept up with the pace needed to be sustainable. We went from building over 20 million homes a decade since the 1950s to only building 5.8 million homes in the 2010s. Second, you have a bunch of homeowners out there with low interest rates in the 2, 3, 4%. And they just don't want to sell unless they absolutely have to. And then buyers, they're not just solely competing against individuals anymore. They're competing against institutional investors as well as vacation rental properties. So.
Okay, yeah, those are great insight into that. And I know that everyone is really talking about high interest rates. How is this really affecting the market?
Well, like I just said, those buyers with the low interest rates are simply opting to stay in their homes, and it's having its effect on inventory levels. And on the flip side, buyers, you know, they're qualifying for a lower amount due to that added interest expense. But honestly, we've kind of been a little spoiled with these historic interest rates over a decade. If you look back, you know, decade by decade, the 6 or 7% we're paying now really isn't actually that bad.
All right, so with all this information, would you recommend that someone wait to buy a home or pull the trigger and do it now?
Well, I'd probably have to start looking for a part-time job if I said yes. But honestly, if you look at the year after year and decade after decade of increasing home values, I just don't think it's a wise decision to wait. If and when interest rates do come down, let's say even to the low 5s, you're going to see a huge surge in demand. And with over a decade of underbuilding and already strained inventory levels, which way do you think prices are going to go? You know, and you can't go back in time and change what you paid for your house, but you can always go back and refinance for a lower rate later. There's a few other things we can do in the meantime too. You can buy points to flat out reduce your interest rate, or adjustable rate mortgages and 15-year loans tend to come at a lower rate. And there's a few more options out there. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always by the phone. So.
Yes, can someone reach out to you?
Just give me a call or an email. My phone number is 218-329-1095. And my email address is blake@bhhspreproperties.com.
Wonderful. And if someone reaches out, you'll really kind of walk them through this whole process of looking into homes, correct?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Ooh, let's see. No, I think that's about it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for those tips.
Thank you.
Of course.
Great to be here.
Yes, great to have you. All right, everyone, stick around. We have much more coming up on today's show.